Okay, a warm welcome to each one of you. This is so good that we are hosting this session. Today's session is brought to you by our community, Nalanda Lifestyle Hub, and also uh, there are some conscious parents, dads who are also here in the session today. My my heart goes out to each one of you for taking out this time and working on yourself. This is going to be a very interesting session. As we start the session, let's first start with a small chant. It's about we are just going to sing three times. We are going to say Om Namo Narayana. In our culture, Narayana is married to Lakshmi, right? So before we can talk about Lakshmi, let's just invite Narayana into our lives. And Narayana also symbolizes knowledge. So we are going to spend this next 60, 70 minutes learning something very beautiful, very important. And let's start with a small invocation. So I would request you to just chant along with your mics muted. We are going to chant Om Namo Narayana three times and then we get started. Let's close our eyes and let's begin. Om Namo Narayana.
Om Namo Narayana,
Om Namo Narayana.
Narayana,
Om Namo
Om Namo
Narayana.
Narayana.
And slowly you can open your eyes. And welcome once again. Welcome everyone. This is a very interesting session. Today's agenda is very simple. You are not going to hit the stock market tomorrow and make a lot of money. That's not the agenda. The agenda is to get clarity about how do we handle finance, how does stock market work. Some of you are starting, some of you are already investing in different areas. But this is about getting clarity on the path. Somebody who has already walked the path, listening to them is much more it's like accelerating our growth rather than experimenting ourselves. I know many of us as parents, as dads, as the breadwinners of the family, you're already very conscious about how to spend your finances and where to invest, but this is going to accelerate your growth in terms of understanding this journey. And as we take this journey forward, I would like to let you know that there's a difference between our needs and our wants. So finances will always, you can always work on finances and make sure that your needs are taken care and your some of the wishes are taken care. But if our list of wants is bigger than the list of our needs, you will always be in that loop of not getting that sense of fulfillment, right? So without further delay, let's welcome our speaker for today. Balaji, a warm welcome to you. I am going to add you to the spotlight as well. Let me introduce you, Balaji. Balaji has been he's been into this personal finance coaching industry for some time. He is a retired senior manager. He has worked in Geo. He has worked in Tata Communications. And the best part is that he's very down to earth, humble person. From my interactions with him, at the age of 45, he attained financial freedom. We also call it FIRE. Some of us are aware of this term as well. Uh, uh, but today's session is about learning from Balaji and having that sense of understanding of how he did that. And Balaji, thank you so much, first of all, for taking out this time. It is so good to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Nitish, and hi everyone. Good to see everyone on time before time. I've seen people joining before time. This shows that people are, really want to learn and understand, and to grow. Right, that is a sign of growth.
Yes.
And I'd like to welcome and thank you for, giving this opportunity so that I can help share my knowledge and help them to achieve their own financial freedom and take them in the journey. Right, that is the whole idea.
Wonderful, Balaji. We are close to 40 of us right now. And,
Okay.
I want to share with all of you that our community works on three principles. The first one is the principle of family. Yeah. So we all are here because we want to make sure that we are giving our family the best. We are nurturing our family, including our relationships, including our understanding with the family in terms of how we spend, how we handle finances. And second aspect of our community is the value of service. This whole session is revolving around that. So we believe that serving is a quality of life, and it also improves our mind, improves our life as well. When we have this attitude of मुझे अपने लिए काफी है बट मुझे बाकियों के लिए भी कुछ करना है, that's little thought that I want to do something for others. So our foundation is on that I want to be available for others without even somebody saying thank you to me. That is the aspect of service that we have, Balaji. And the third the third is freedom. Value that we have is freedom. And freedom is about uh, freedom from diseases, living a disease-free life, freedom from restless sleeps, having a good night's sleep, freedom from the racing mind. This is something that we all have been learning in terms of some practices, some spiritual practices. Some of us have our own spiritual paths, but the idea is simple, that we continue to work towards freedom and evolve ourselves. And today's topic is about freedom from the chains of finance, something which uh, gives us clarity, so that how can we live a life of freedom yet be available for others as a form of service, taking care of our family. So Balaji, this will be our agenda.
That's really thanks for Nitish. I think what I say in my community and your community, out of total three values, two are matching. First, my community is a freedom only, because of freedom, the way we like to live our life. That's one. Second is a wealth. Wealth, I don't only talk about yourself, your family, but for generations, right? Legacy as a. And third is a service, right? Service, I strongly believe. I encourage in community also to give back, because nature's law is clear. Whatever it gives comes back to you one or other form sooner or later. That laws, is above the social laws or any other laws, government laws. And I'm good to know that, we are matching our values. Thank you.
Okay, Balaji, thank you. So let's get into straight into the point,
Yeah.
Balaji. I have questions from many of us who have already shared the questions. I will ask you in due time. And for
Sure.
everyone who is listening to this session now or later, you are encouraged to ask questions. You can put down your questions in the chat. We'll also have some time in the second half of this session where you can directly ask questions and unmute yourself and ask questions. So Balaji, let me start with just asking first question. Why financial
Yeah.
freedom? Why do we need it?
Yeah, look, financial freedom is required because the money is required, right? The way you, whatever you want to do, your needs, your wants, or even you want to give service, right? The multiple kind of service, of course, you give your labor, your time, and one of the factor is the money also, right? The way, because you want to create the social cause or anything, right? That is everything is required, and certainly is for holistically. Many people say don't money is not the factor, but only those people who don't understand, or second, the people have already too much money, right? That's why those only people talk. Otherwise, money is, in fact, I take as a spiritual. If you don't, if you treat it properly and handle it properly, take care of the money as your child, right? Like the way you get it, to nurture it and give the good habits and all those things. If you do the same money as a child, good habits, then it also does, for good for you in the later stage. The same way you have to treat that way.
Wow.
Therefore, money is important.
That's a good way to start and understand what money is. So,
Yeah.
Balaji, what inspired you to take this path? I mean, you were also there somewhere, maybe in your 20s, 30s, thinking about how to become financially free. What inspired you to take this path? And tell us about your journey in the next couple of minutes
Yeah.
till the age of 45.
Hey, thanks for sharing that, asking that question. In fact, I came from middle class family. My dad was a government servant. We had four siblings. I came from middle class. I seen all kind of struggles. Money beliefs, limiting beliefs. I'll say, like पैसे पेट पे उगते नहीं है. जितना चादर है उतना फैलाओ. Only rich people are good. People are not bad. All these things. All these limiting beliefs. I've been grown, and I talk to get into schooling, etc. And I've been M.Tech IIT Mumbai. I did all the jobs, etc., startup and all. But this overall journey, I did corporate job. I was resigned from Reliance Jio from middle manager as a GM.
Okay.
But whole this period from 2004, almost 21 years, I've been working for the stock market, understanding all the stock market, how it works and how it has been treated. One of the good thing happened to me is, which came very early stage in my, I'll not say very early, but very early on the career, right? And I got into good people, stuck into good people like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Peter Lynch, or Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in Indian context. And they have built up, mindset for the value, demand for value, right? Not for the, speculative attitude. And with
Okay.
that, I was doing it consistently for myself and my family. And this was, going for parallelly along with my job. But 22, I had heard, let us me get into the achieve financial freedom. Let me, let us stop no job. Let me do what I want to do. Then I immediately, financial was my core. And meanwhile, I did many post-graduation financial market, etc., because I was a technical background, right? And NSC, BSc programs and all. But that urge was there. Then immediately I written the three books, all in the investment. All those hit number one in USA Amazon market immediately. And but that was, again, one-way traffic, right? I was only writing and sharing my thoughts, how it should be done. But what was missing was a connection with the people, right? And talking to people and really helping them the way they like to be, because everyone, different situations, different demands, different goals, all those, right? Then I started into, coaching. Let me help people who, want to really achieve the financial freedom. They're serious about themselves, their family, and their future. And what I learned last 20 or 21 years, I did mistakes, all learnings, how to share and give a clear path for them, right? And based on their requirement, with their goals. That is, that's why I get
Great.
into coaching.
Okay,
That's
great.
in short.
So, question to everyone: how many of you, when it comes to finance, have done mistakes? Just type M in the chat if you have been there somewhere down the path in terms of small decisions, big decisions. You have thought that, अरे यहाँ पे तो there was no need to spend, or you thought यहाँ पे spend नहीं करना, but later you realize that, oh, I must have spent amount there. Be it your health, be it your next car. So if that had happened to you, just type M in the chat, so I know that you are getting a sense of where Balaji is coming from, and we all have been there in that stage. So, Balaji, my first question to you, and I've got around 9, 10 questions which I've polished them, and I'm going to ask you one by one. So let's
Okay.
start with first the personal finance foundations. I want to ask you, individuals who are currently struggling to track their expenses and manage their accounts, how can they build a sustainable system for financial discipline?
Ritin, what I suggest now, I'll take all the questions. I'm here for people, help them. Let me take the PPT quickly, so
Oh,
that you
yes,
give
yes.
a context.
So
Them, and
you're
I'll
saying
try
that
to
you
address most
want
of the
to.
questions. And if you don't address, please ask me, and I'm here to
Great. So
support.
you're
Help.
saying
Yeah.
that let's go into the PowerPoint mode. You
Yeah.
want to share some notes
Correct.
that you've already prepared for us.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go ahead.
Sure. Let me share my screen. Can you give permission, Nitish?
Yes, right away. 1 second. Okay, please share now.
Yeah, let me know once you're able to see.
It's visible. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
During your PPT, is it okay if I pause and ask questions during the
Yeah,
PPT?
but definitely. If something, to more clarity is required, or something, I have to bring up more detail, go depth, please ask me.
Okay.
That is whole idea is to understand, concept and move ahead, right? The whole idea here is to, just want to, let me go here fast, maybe. The most important thing I'll give always the money with the peace, right? And simple steps, that is, and that's the free, long life freedom. Why peace and simplicity? Because simple mind always demands simplicity, right? Because mind been evolved as a, species, as a survival machine. It always look for simplicity and shortcuts. That's one. And peace. When you're peace happy, then you stay with long, and you do the things for longer period of time, right? Which is not pleasant, you don't do. That's mind itself reject, and it find, all those, we find the excuses and we don't do. Therefore, we always ask for the peaceful life and simple. That's why, we want to achieve financial freedom also. Before the starting, I want to, give clear intention to each one of you for your financial freedom. With that intention, we are starting. Because when you set the clear intention, then your minds start thinking in that direction, and our goals, we try to achieve in that direction. Quickly, I run through these PPT. What is the money mindset typically we have? Personal finance, how make money, work for you, and the stock market, just, just touch upon, and value based investing, which I myself nurture, and all the, famous investors globally, they do follow value investing. And simple ways I try to give to you, how to customize a portfolio, right? That is very important, because everyone goals and needs and cash flow is different. Just, before that, one thought-provoking query is, why 91% of, Indians still work hard more than 30 years, but still they, find the retirement is tough, right? Let me know any thoughts you have. Please, you can share your, in the chat box, so that, I come to know from, what is your thought process, from where you are coming. I hope everyone believes, most of the people are, they work whole life and they still struggle, right? At the end, life and,
Yeah, well,
inflation, correct? Yeah, inflation is one, correct? The money isn't growing and no money, yes, okay. Yes, to focus on earning and, belief in God, no money management, right? Yeah. Yeah, all our answers are relevant and true. These all mix and match, all those things. And one of the issue I saw when I started is it's the education system, right? Because we've been handling money from childhood. Myself also, right? I was handling money from childhood, but neither schools, neither at home, how to handle money, right? How always been taught to, work for money, work for money. But we have to think different way and do the things different way. That is never been taught, and I don't know why it is still lacking. And that is our, one of the our agenda, our mission to help people to educate, right, about the right money mindset.
yeah,
With these, these are typically, myths about the money. Money is hard to earn. Be satisfied with what we have. Have money excess is evil, right? Money doesn't grow on the trees. We can't afford it. Stay within your limits. Rich people are lucky. Rich people are not good, right? That's why, typically you see, in the movies also, Hindi movie, sorry, Hindi movies, they always show, villain as a rich person. A rich person is a villain. He has a lot of money, and hero is typically very poor, but he's good. Right? That is kind of mindset being we seen all these, being embedded in our mind, and our subconscious accept those, things when you doing the decisions or acting in the life. Therefore, you have to reframe these old beliefs I just shown here in the first column as old beliefs. Second is why is, for example, let me take one example. Money is hard to earn. Not really many, many earn peacefully with skills and clarity. Because, these are the people who have skills, they plan and they work towards that. Therefore, you have to build a new belief. The money flows when I create value consistently, right? It's a very simple. The way any person, how much money he gets, he has to first give the service, the value, right? And if you go to any shop, you value that service, then only give price, right? When you consume or receive the price which I'm paying, suppose paying 100 rupees, but I'm getting more than 100 rupees value, then I do that service, right? It's that way you have to think and move ahead. And the same thing we have to take in every decision when you're spending the money also.
So,
Second,
Balaji,
yeah,
what you're saying is before even we think about making money, we have to change the belief about money.
yeah,
Otherwise, this does not work. Is that what you're saying?
correct. Everything starts from mindset and money. It's a mindset, right? Because that is only a governs everything. Therefore, in every place, not only stock market or anywhere, in common life also is our mindset. How do you look, expenditure? How do you look at the expenses? How do you look at, spending for yourself, spending on the luxury goods? Everything is, is our mindset. And that mindset is very well known. Or the companies, these, luxury companies, they accordingly they market it, and they show
Yeah.
emotionally things and, luxury things that way. And it start everything from mind.
All right.
Yeah. I'll not go everything because of the interest of time, but I'll just give one more maybe. Be satisfied with what we have, right? I'm using it as a gratitude or as a fear to avoid the growth. I'm grateful and growing at the same time, right? Having money is not only it's a sign of, you are growing it and you are delivering the more and more service, which is valuable to the people, right? A service may be a service or product or whatever, right? Whatever you niche you've been doing it. Therefore, we inherited a lot of misbeliefs. Then you have to rewrite first, right? From these all limiting beliefs, how you can suppose for example we take fifth, we cannot afford, right? Many people we listen also in my life childhood I used to hear can't afford, have not planned it, okay, because we haven't planned it, right? Because that's why you can't afford. How can I afford? Then we have to think exact reverse question: how I can afford it peacefully and wisely, right? That means comes under planning. How do you plan it? That affordness, right? That comes into picture, and so forth. As I
Interesting.
said, is everything actually start from money's mindset. Mind is more powerful actually. Is it the machine which is not only surviving, is thriving, and the way we think, every thought has a everything you just remember. Everything is physically around you see world, right? First, it has came to someone's mind, thought, then they been created as a product or service, right? That way it works. It's most powerful Therefore, it says always, say everything you see first create it in the mind, then in the outside world or physical world, right? Let me take one simple example. Typically in our life, what we'll do, some income comes, maybe our salary, job, or maybe business income, any income. Then we do expenses, right? Our needs, all etc. Then we save or invest, right? This is a typical thinking, and I used to also do at least stages doing it at my home also everything. But this is really totally wrong, right? The smart way is first income comes, you plan it out your savings and investment, then you go for expenses. Then whatever the expenses, even need expenses, you can manage. The want expenses you can manage, but you have to first plan. Okay, I'm not asking to sacrifice your wants, etc., but I'm saying to plan it accordingly. Right? That's the right way. And this whole needs some mindset transformation. This equation looks very simple, but this needs mindset transformation and discipline. These two things are must.
I
I hope
would,
everyone agrees with this.
yes, absolutely, Balaji. I would like to ask each one of, and there was a time when I was also in the typical mindset, slowly moving to smart mindset. I would like to ask each one of you, let's be honest here, and type in the chat if which mindset are you currently following? Are you still looking into expenses and then whatever is left you're saving, or are you already doing that? Are you already doing? Just type T or S in the chat. What mindset are you currently in? And it is absolutely okay to be honest here. And well, as you can see,
Yeah,
it's
good.
it's a half. Some of
Yeah,
us
good.
are already doing that. Some of us
Good.
are still doing the expenditure first and then the savings later. So that's the
That's very
first
good.
shift to do.
Right. You're already on the path. Very good. I'd like to congratulate everyone. And that is the way to do it. And but be consistent and stay in that zone.
All right.
Now let me share them. Typically, the Nitish also at the beginning he spoke about wants and needs, right? Everything, this is a pyramid, right? We start with the need, right? Of course, everyone has to live the lifestyle. Their needs are there, medical expenses, house, traveling, all those, education of children, education and all. Second comes with the wants, right? And there is no limit of wants. I just written a few, and always been, want to move from 2 BHK to 4 BHK bungalow, farmhouse, there is all those, SUV, all those things, right? And third level comes the dreams, right? Dreams is the when you are want actually free financial freedom, right? What is the financial freedom means? You are not working for money, right? Because money is a byproduct, and you are working because you like to work, right? Then that means, for example, of my case, right? I am working. I like to help people to achieve the financial freedom. That is my, freedom. I take it, and my rest is taken care, right? That is your dreams. Maybe start your own company or give charities or physical money wise, all those things, or world tour. And legacy is passing on our wealth to the next generation or to society also by larger a cause. That is typical pyramid works. You're setting the goals. Therefore, in life also you have to set your goals, needs, of course, wants, dreams, and legacy. Just want to share here, financial statement typically. The financial statement is for company as well as for us also, right? As a individual families and a person. Typically, is income statement. What is income is there? Expenses, income, maybe your salary incomes, business income, maybe you're doing some business or consultancy or so forth. Or you're doing some dividend, rental, your royalty income is coming up. Expenses, I broadly divided into need and wants, right? And all these comes into the later on as a saving and investment. And look at the second statement, which is a balance sheet, which is typically part of the asset and liability. What is asset? Is a house is a asset, right? Don't say I'm staying in the house is asset, right? Because you're consuming it is not asset. Asset house is asset only when you rent it out and you're getting some fixed income rent from that, right? Then it is asset. Otherwise, if you're consuming something, it's not asset. Your car is not asset, right? House also similarly, a lot of people I see they say I know मेरे पास 2 crore का house है 1 crore का house है but you are staying there, right? You can't generating any asset or in cash flow from that. Then you should not be saying as a asset. That's a basic definition of asset. It may be from land you rent it out to someone, or farmland and so forth. You have some shop etc. rented out, shares, stocks, which are the
Hmm.
gold also you're not generating consistently, but you can always sell it and generate the cash, and it's a cash generating. A liability typically loans, all your mortgages, a car loan, and or personal loans, all those. Credit cards, bills, typically paper wala hai, his milk man is there, right? Even he's delivering the milk whole month, but at the end we are going to pay, right? He's a creditor to you. That is also, it's a liability. But of course,
Yeah.
you're going to pay off it up by the end of month. And tax payable based on the income and all those, right?
Mm. You know,
Difference,
Balaji,
yeah,
apologies. I was just saying that based on the responses and the people who have joined, I
yeah,
feel many of them are very much familiar with the basics of the balance sheet and the income
good.
statements. And it's more about how do we dive deep into and the mistakes that we are currently making.
Mhm.
We want to pick your brains on that directly, Balaji.
Okay, then I'll go next then immediately. The
Mm.
typical way, I scrub, if these are the shown typically, how people do it. But
Yeah.
smart way, typically, when income comes, first you focus more on the asset building, right? Asset is which has shown you maybe buying second house or some, shop or anything, or maybe stock market also shares. That is one way asset is there. I show the thickness, right? It's a larger amount should go to your asset building. And second, it should be expenses, right? Expenses may again comes in needs as well as the your wants. And remaining is the liability. I suggest don't have any liability because it restrict the way you are taking decisions in life. Again, it's
Mm.
I just shown a typical breakup of your, suppose monthly some income is coming up, 100%, 40% immediately allocate first to asset building. 10% is education. Right? Is education is not for your children, education for yourself. I'm quite sure in this room, you agree. Now the skill building, enhancement is a must, right? It's becoming, right? Because for example, if you take myself, right, I'm spending maybe 10 to 15 lakhs annually almost for my own education to upgrade my skills because things are changing, digitalization, all those things, and everyone should be spending good amount of money. Then only become relevant. Otherwise, we can't be staying the same old and not upskilling ourselves, right? And that is, I hope everyone agrees to the education. Second,
Absolutely, absolutely. I
uh,
I would just pause here and ask, how
yeah,
many of
please.
you in the room believe that you're a lifelong learner when it comes to finance or your spiritual growth? Just type LLL in the chat if you feel that you are one of those lifelong learners who would like to continue investing. And look, Balaji just mentioned something amazing. He said that he's spending almost 12 to 15 lakhs every year for his personal education, and that's Balaji. That's something commendable. Even I'm not doing that much, but I know I if we have to, as you said, stay relevant in terms of the time, we continue to invest on our education along, and
Correct,
that has to be considered as an asset. That is the biggest part.
correct,
We consider
right,
our education investment as an asset. So that's
right.
a bulb on for me today.
Okay,
Please
that's why
continue.
shown in the asset section. You see, no, Nitish. I shown in the
Hmm.
asset. It's an asset actually. So in
Yes.
fact, in the life, I tell you, biggest asset is yourself, right? Just remember that your physical body, your mental spirituality, the way you plan, the way you think. Therefore, you always it's the biggest asset. Even Warren Buffett says biggest asset. Invest using yourself, right? Then comes
Hmm.
the stock market, real estate, or everything comes into picture. Because if you don't, just remember, if you're not upgrading your skills, then same thing is affecting your life, personal life, plus your surrounding, right? People, your family, your children, spouse, right? Because you have to learn a lot of things to learn, and what you learned last, in the schooling is very limited,
Hmm.
and I'm quite sure, not sure how much I'm using my schooling, like alpha, theta, gamma, all that. I'm hardly using, but what I'm getting, the life skills are very important, and one of that life skill is the money management is very important. Of course, another which Nitish was teaching spirituality and mindset and balance the life. All those are also very important. To have peaceful life.
Yeah.
The second comes the savings. Savings, of course, this savings has a two parts actually. One is a saving you do for emergency requirement as emergency fund. Second, saving you do for specific goals, right? Maybe you want after 2 years you want to some child education is there, or you want to go foreign trip. All that. And this comes to the
Hmm.
second is investment. Investment can be, any form, maybe, properties or maybe stock market or in gold or different, this comes whole, a different concept. How do you allocate the capital allocate all these, that is a very depth topics and that based on individual to individual cases.
So Balaji, what you teach in your community as a coach is that you focus on investments in stock market directly. That's what, right? That's what you
No,
teach.
I do two step. First is the mindset,
Hmm.
because we have to mold the people first in the right mindset, right? Because a lot of money beliefs or misbeliefs are there. Mindset is there, and we have to change that, right? And it's called behavior finance, in fact. That this whole
Hmm.
topic is there, and first I'll teach that. That brings the clarity. I'll
Hmm.
come to that my detail in the literature part of the PPTs, and
Hmm.
but we start with the mindset. That's very
Hmm.
important. Second come expenses. I'd straight away given 60%. Then again 45% of no, it's again 40 to 50% depending upon if you're sitting in the rented house or you're traveling, your all those needs are there, grocery, etc. All those comes to. Second wants, right? 10% is I given. That these are I shown the typical. It may vary for 5% here and there, based on your things, your lifestyle or things. But don't go beyond this, but manage very well. And 5% I given service, right? The way I say is always give service for our society build up, because where you want to say to make a better future for our society. That is so service is very important. And typically avoid these liabilities whenever possible, unless there are very emergency is there, and then only you can take it up. Otherwise, this is a typical, if you want, you can take the screenshot of this, and that will really help you to manage, or at least you start thinking and planning. And with this respect to, I have given one sheet also. Can I show the sheet?
Yes, Balaji, I was
Yeah.
about to say that. So
Yeah.
those who will continue the session, and by the end, Balaji will be sharing this tool or a sheet which has got all the details about how do you
Yeah.
start. So that's the first step for anyone who has not even started yet.
This will help you to plan it out your day. For example, this is a sheet. I have one sample sheet also given how to fill up, and one is you just write your name and date. This is for your reference and your thing. Ideally, what I suggest you can do yourself, or you can do it with your spouse or with the family, right? Because it's a family expenditure, a family financial planning. I leave that decision to you. You just change these yellow signals and with based on annual. For example, suppose someone is making 12 lakhs annual, right? And our rest is automatically calculated. You just put the numbers, and suppose you have some bonuses of 5 lakhs annually again, and so forth, right? Just fill up this yellow sheet only. I given the instruction, and if you want to some confusion, etc., you can always refer to the sample sheet, right? And these are the incomes, expenses you can do again. Suppose you are staying some 10,000 nowadays, not to 20,000, for example. It is coming out, you are spending so rent and so forth, and sorry, so 20,000, for example. Okay, these are monthly expenses. You can give household with 30,000 and so forth. Okay, you just complete your sheet, everything. Then at the end of this sheet, you're going to get how much total, expenses you are doing it, right? Dependent expenses there, so if parent, children, insurance is there. Remember, you're paying for a life insurance, health insurance, and general insurance. Any loan EMI, if you just put those values monthly wise, and automatically it's going to calculate how much total income is there, total expense is there, how much total surplus is available for you, right, to invest. Is going to give automatically to you. This is the first sheet, which is the income statement. Second is the asset and liability. Again, you can say whatever amount you have, present value, purpose. If you have any purpose, you can write here goal is there. For example, 50,000, suppose you are there. I think maybe uh, daily expenses, right? Just to all this. You just write one by one, use all those. Again, the two sections here. Debt asset means typically fixed deposits, right? Or PPF if you have any, NSC, National Savings Certificate, all those are there. Any insurance related policies, all those you can write. Second is asset, equity related, how much you invested, like 10 lakh, 12 lakh, whatever amount. Again, you can do direct equity or PMS, all the multiple options are there. And people are doing equity through mutual fund also. You can write those also. This will give, I try to capture as much as possible detail. And gold asset, if you're doing gold. Jewelry typically you don't take, because jewelry has its own cost, making charge. The same jewelry, if you go and sell, you don't get same value, right? It varies, but try to give based on cost maybe, or maybe current prevailing rate, which is running up. If you own, house as asset, right, second house in that case, or a plot land, if I'm getting some rent income, or just is sitting in the balance sheet, right, it's not doing any, it's just open space is there, you can write or everything. If you do all those, again, liabilities, if you're taking in loans, etc., vehicle loans, personal loans, everything is going to do calculation at the end, is going to give total assets, total liability, and total net worth. Okay, total net worth has again two component. One is net worth including personal assets, right? Which is when I say personal asset, that means the house which you are staying, right? And this is actual value, net without excluding a personal asset which you are not consuming it, right? These are those net worth. It will give clearly you know what is the net worth here. My typical suggestion to you and anyone is you run this exercise maybe 6 months or at least once a year. Whenever you suppose at the end of March or April month, or take some date, but you run the exercise for yourself or along with your family, because when you get clarity, then you know what is happening and what is possibly going to happen, and then you start thinking of your goals, right? Short term, mid term, your children education,
Yeah.
or where you want to see, or you want to retire early, or how to watch financial freedom. Suppose you're consuming so much monthly or annually. Suppose I want to stay float so many years, how much is required, then you start thinking, right? When you type your numbers, it's bring clarity. Because typically what happens, I've seen people just put those numbers in the mind and just think everything is fine. But just my humble request is to put all these in the numbers to get more clarity, right? It's for you only, and this is for your reference. And Nitesh, you can share this sheet at the end, or you
Yes, sir,
can
Balaji, I
email
was
also.
about
Yeah,
to say that.
yeah,
By the end of the session, we'll have a group picture.
yeah.
I mean, first of all, I want to let you know that, let everyone know, I had tried creating this sheet in the past. It took me a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks to create something
Okay.
where I can track everything. But Balaji, thank you so much for giving this tool to our community, and at least for those who have not yet started the planning.
Yeah.
Some of us in the group may have already done that, and maybe they had a even advanced version of it. Today you can get anything from the AI, but the point
Yeah.
is to start using it and making it more
Right.
simpler also.
Yeah. Make as a
So
habit. My suggestion is, that is very
yes,
important.
and the second thing, Balaji, I wanted to let everyone know is that by the end of the session we will also have so Balaji also does consultation, and he agreed that we'll just pick 8 people from our community who can get a one-to-one consultation with Balaji after the session. That the paid consultation that we have with Balaji, he will do a one-to-one complimentary consultation for 8 people from our community, because I
Yeah.
know not every question might be answered today. This is setting up the foundation, right? And if you're really interested to take the step forward and get into handling your finances the best way, Baji will be available after the session as well. So Baji, now thank you for this sheet. As we
Yeah.
When we take the group picture, I will know who all were there during that time, and I'll share the sheet with them.
Yes.
I wanted to request you, Baji, shall we switch gears into
Yeah.
the more advanced version of it?
Yeah. I'm looking for that. But I was just creating the base. So,
Yes.
from here, let me start now. Is the investment cycle, right? I shown here. What that means is we have seen the both statement, income statement, balance sheet, and income sheet gives the asset, buy to asset, right? This is a cycle which is very important. What it comes, you should be more and more spending towards the assets which are the cash generating, right? That is the whole concept here, and you should be doing it. Therefore, I quickly skip just undesirable habit and desirable habit, which should be budgeting, investment, regular investment, as a make have insurance. Typically, strongly suggest at least have a life insurance, which is pure term plans, and health insurance must. Right, otherwise is up to you. How do you want to take it up? And in this case, also desirable habit is a multiple source of income. Right? Don't depend upon single income. Even if you think your job is peaceful or business is running well, but always have a multiple sources of income. Uh, you know, Again, there's typically I suggest again multiple sources of income, passive income. Right? Passive income means where you're not working but still you're getting the money. Just we quickly going to see those things. Here I given the few examples. A rental income, which you spoke about, exploration, freelancing, monetization with expertise or coaching. You want to do royalties like you've written the books or in software, in code or IP which you have, or start a business. But these are typically labor. You need your time, right, and your efforts. and also stock market, which is very important, which we're going to discuss now. Stock market is mechanism where money. We've been, as I said earlier, we've been always taught it framed work for money, but the solution here is whole make money work for us. And just remember, when money works for us, money has a capacity to work 24/7, right? But as a human, we can work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, or 15 hours, right? But money, if you deploy properly, it can work 24/7 for you. No, even if you're sleeping, and it is works, right? That way you have to see which are those opportunities. And when I came across this investment in the growth is the ideal way. Because everyone cannot start the business, because they do not interested, because a lot of complexity is there. But always we can have a piece of business, right, through the stock market. This has shown a typical person always works for money. He labors his time and energy, okay, a prime time of the day, right, for laboring in the job if he's. But while rich, he is always cultivating the money to build more and money. Right? This is as simple as that. And this is the only concept, which works. And that's why the wealthy people you see, if you Mukesh Ambani, he's in with his children, wedding anniversary, his business all are running, right? Because he's enjoying whatever he's doing. But we have to build a system which is where money is working for you. And let me switch the gear now, come to the stock market. Please let me know before that switching off any query till now on the
Hey,
finance
Raj, I think you have
statement.
covered the basics right.
Okay,
Some
I
of
think okay.
us have been eagerly waiting only for this part
Oh,
because
okay,
the
okay.
basics.
Okay.
No, I mean, this is not for everyone, but some of us. So, let me just ask in the chat itself, how
Yeah.
many of you till this point, this session has been of some value? Just type V in the chat if you have gained something new and if this has been valuable to you so far. Please type V in the chat so I understand if you have learned something new already. Okay. Okay, great. Great. Thank you. I can see more than half of you have shared. Great, Balaji. So
Yeah.
for the remaining half of us and even for everyone who has been here, please tell us.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no, why stock? This also maybe if you very much already know, I just try to cover very fast. Why stock markets are important, right? For not only country as a just remember, stock market is taken as a barometer of any country's economy, and India is not only is same in the same category. What that means is when the country is going to become rich, when the people or the services, the companies will generate the services, products or services consumed by people or maybe exported, right?
Yeah.
And it shows stock market, the price goes ups and down. That shows that, right, something happens in the economy, the stock market goes down, and something is going, if you look good futuristic, stock market goes up, that is a clear indication. What is holistically as a collective mind is called, right? Collective mind is thinking, and that everything get reflected in real time in the stock market, right? And just again to keep the things in perspective, India is current today as the fifth largest economy,
Wow.
right? Behind Germany and Japan. But now by 2028 is we are going to become third largest economy in the world, right? What that means is the companies which are in India, the kind of the products services going to consumed in India, they're developed by the companies, and most of the companies are listed, right? Almost more than 7,000 companies are listed, and those companies going to grow, right? And then only is going to happen, and this is the one of the way, and most of these companies are listed in the stock market. That means this companies has to grow and stock market has to grow, right? It's as simple as that, because each stock represent a piece of company, the business, some logic is there. It's not only ticker. It may be going up and down, sometimes irrationally up and down, but overall, holistically, if you see a business, it is the business is making money, the stock price has to go up. That is very simple logic, and it has to work that way. Right, and that's why I said is the stock market is with logic, with a piece of management, business, and second is importantly management is working for you. Just remember that it's not only stock market is there. You have to think management or promoters as a they're working for you, and therefore when I'm saying this, making these two comments, like stock market gives opportunity to own a piece of business. That means you have to look at the business very carefully where you're investing. Second, management, right? Because finally we are the outsiders as the stockholders, and the management with their insider, they know more information, and we have to evaluate them. Management is really good, is very ability, the expertise there, and second is their integrity is there, and their willingness to share the wealth with the shareholder, right? This is very important.
Yeah, Balaji, knowing
Yeah.
this, I mean, I knew this, but I have still made mistakes in terms of when it comes to investing in stock market. So I would be interested to know how do I avoid those mistakes? And when it comes to management, I feel mutual funds are much safer because there is a fund owner investing on your behalf. But I see that your point is stock markets are even better. I'm keen to understand how.
Yeah, actually, when I started 2004, etc., I started with mutual fund only. Okay, and I started first initially at that time it was Reliance was very good, HDFC was there, ICICI. These 2 3 years very good, and at that time I invested in those. But when I started looking at these, started studying those, mutual funds. Even today, if you see mutual funds, right, a top 8 to 10 stock holding is the same. Whatever the name give, the infra fund, IT fund, AI fund, defense fund, the top 8 to 10 companies are the same, the one that they invested. That is because the limitation with this fund manager mutual fund comes in. They have to follow the group law, is called. Means, if someone is doing the same thing, they have to do, because they can't take much contra decisions or something, because something take contra different decision and goes wrong, the fund manager job comes into jeopardy, right? Because they have to save, and the name uska jo mutual fund ka is name naam bhi kharab ho jayega. Therefore, if you see, the mutual funds are average, and once a while, suppose someone comes, very good the result for maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, but is again goes down, right? Because they are following the same group law. Therefore, typically, a mutual fund may be good if you don't know, if you know. In fact, I'll suggest, if you don't know, don't try to put money in that mutual fund, put in the index fund, because index fund, where costs are also low, and index fund, what that means is whatever the market follows, that price also follows, or your value of the money.
You mean
Okay.
Nifty, Sensex, like that, directly
Like
putting
that, yeah. Typically, if the cost is low, and the fund manager, if you see, consistent, I don't see any, consistently making very good amount of money. Maybe they're making some 10 12% or something. Again, it's taxed, if whatever income comes, it is taxed to based on our salary slab, or income slabs.
Yeah, of course.
That
Okay.
goes. Unless you're doing some income tax, tax related out with 3 in lock-in is there, all that comes into picture. But still, it is not that make, I haven't seen at least good way.
So, Balaji, what I'm understanding is you're saying if I see a common stocks across mutual funds, I can do at least that much of study and directly invest in that stock. That's what I'm learning from what you said.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the fund manager putting those same companies, 8 or 10 companies.
Right. So if I can
There are-
identify that same company, I can myself use the
No,
stock.
then it's come again, Nitesh, come to average level, because those are the only well-known companies, like, ICICI is there, Reliance is there, TCS is there, Infosys is there. I'm not, these are recommended, these are not recommendations, but I'm just telling the names.
Yeah, understood.
But you follow the same. What happens to the stocks still going to happen. Then you have to see, out of suppose some 20 companies are there. Then you have to see, is there any undervalued companies there, or any price is better or value is better. You can allocate your capital more to those companies. That
So
kind of
please
thing you
teach
should do.
us, Balaji, if you can share some
I try to
hint.
touch up, because it's a big, vast, really vast subject. I try to touch up on it next in my
Yeah,
slides.
so
Yeah.
some hints on where do we start when
Yeah.
it comes to
Yeah,
safest.
again, let me then quickly run this.
Yeah.
The demat accounts are opening, and very month wise, lakhs of accounts are opening up. Only my worry for these people is the people should not come with the stock market as a money making machine. They come with the right mindset. It's very simple. If someone comes to stock market as a as a casino place, the stock market is going to treat him or her as a gambler. You have to come with the right mindset and demand value in that. And currently only 6% of people are investing in the stock market. Just imagine, so when this number goes to 10%, it's almost 15 crore people are going to invest. And if you're starting today, you are the first more advantage will be there. That is my message. And opportunity is very big, and it's growing only as become the third largest economy. Just to put in the context again, uh, I brought this BSC Sensex from the beginning with the important points. If someone has kept, your father, grandfather in Sensex, not doing anything, index fund which are talking, In 1980s, 10,000 rupees, it has become more than 65 lakhs as on today. That much magic is there. And and if you go to again specific companies, right? Even 10,000 rupees, they kept Infosys 93, it has become 19 crore. Only 10,000 rupees doing nothing. Right? But this is a very special case where Infosys being an IT service, and we call it's a mega trend. Right? The multiple mega trends. Now, if you ask me, mega trend is in energy or ESG, all those business companies are there. You have to write those, mega trends and sit for those companies are for years, and they do simple magic. And just remember, this is only capital appreciation. I have not included here dividend. Okay, if you add dividend, it will become more tens of thousands. Opportunity is very huge, with the given compounded annual growth rate of 35% more than. And what I understand, one of the query was, what is the difference between CAGR and IRR? CAGR, what happens typically, we do from one period to the another period, how much total growth and average growth annually it gives. It's called, therefore, it's compounded annual growth rate. And IRR typically you do over the period of time, but uneven cash flow is coming up. In that again, we try to find out the what is total interest or earning growth we are taking it. That's the major difference. Again, HDFC Bank, similarly, Bajaj Finance, all those, they are running very well, and just to stay, and just plotted this graph intentionally here to show you. It is Infosys graph. Just see how it looks, fat tail, long tail, right? And ups and downs are inherent to nature, market nature. Similarly for HDFC, again ups and downs, long tail, ups and down. Similarly for Bajaj Finance, right? Ups and downs will be there. And actually, Bajaj Finance of 2009-12, they are restructured, and they started retail loan, and after that it has gone. Therefore, the key takeaway is focus on business, right? In the stock market, when you're looking, if you're good on the business selection, you're going to get good amount of money. How to identify good business? Very simple way. There are n number of companies. As I said, more than 7,000 companies are there. It's more than 30 industries are there, or market sectors are there. We don't need so many. Okay, to become successful, you need only 8 to 10 companies, good companies. You'll be done, right? Therefore, don't look at everywhere here and there. Just focus on the business which you understand, right? Everyone has a different understanding capability. If you ask me, mine is FMCG, or luxury goods, or energy, and even financial NBFCs. Those are my forte. I typically put those money in those sectors, or maybe sometime in the metals. Therefore, each one has, suppose you are working in the medical field, you might be knowing which are good medical, ethical, how they're growing, all this. Therefore, select your circle of competence and stay within that. And don't bother someone is making money on someone else. Don't worry, but focus on the business which are growing, and is making good amount of money. And in this business again comes the management, the management which is ethical, with integrity, and capable, right? Their expertise and their hunger in their stomach, to grow the business, right? That is the first. Second is the values everything. In fact, there is I see a lot of people say day trading, derivative, trend-based trading, technical trading, etc. But everything boils down to the value, right? What is the value of the business, right? It is as simple as that. The value from the business comes from the couple of multiple factors. One factor is amount of cash it is going to produce in the future, right? Then you discount that to the today, and there's a formula is there that we can do it. That's one. Second, based on the value, is comes from the asset, right? How much asset it owns. This comes typically for the like financial companies, how much loans there's asset for them. Real estate companies there, those are asset based, right? These are the companies which you can determine value based on assets.
So
Or
Balaji,
maybe, yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
I
please
mean,
go
what
ahead.
I'm understanding is that this is a long-term study. It will take, I mean, can you tell me, if I start today, how many days or weeks I would need to at least have a good understanding of this subject? I know this 1 hour is not enough.
Yeah,
We are going to anyway end the session in next 20 minutes, but I want to
okay.
understand how long does it take to go through this subject? If I'm very sincere about this subject, how many days or weeks I need?
Look, typically what I suggest, suppose someone is starting today, okay, he or she may take 6 to 8 months, right? By spending maybe weekly 1 or 2 hours, okay, that much maybe we can pay.
Okay.
Then he clears the concepts, everything, what typically mistakes happens, how to think about it, how to find the businesses, how to good find evaluate the management. Because management typically, but if you ask me, it's a more subjective thing because human comes to human nature, right? But definitely you can, with the good amount of certainty, you can identify which are the good management. There are different ways to it there. And third is the value, right? How to value a business. Oh, these three are main. And apart from that, whatever comes up, like how much capital you allocate, right? And how much you diversify, right? How much you do, all that, comes up. These
Can
everything
you
to,
can you repeat these three ways of identification?
yeah,
One
first
is
is the business.
okay.
Okay, if you want to break
What
down.
in the business?
Business is the comes to the nature of the business. What kind of nature is the business? How
Okay.
money is going to come to the business, right? And how to what is the opportunity for that business to grow?
Okay,
That's what
that's
comes to
fast.
market size, right? How much, the market size should be there big, right? Typically, you should be looking at the businesses which are, big market is there, right? You should not be looking for, a big lake may, chota sa fish, you should be looking up. Even if it's small business, but it will be opportunities grow big, right? Because the lake is big or it's a scene sea. You should be
Okay.
looking at some big fish in a small bucket or pond. It's not
So
going to grow because the market size itself is small,
got it,
right?
got it. So I would
That
just
is.
request everyone in the call right now just to type in whatever you can get from the first thing to understand is business and its quality. So please feel free to type in your notes here in the chat so everybody can read through it. And yes, Balaji, first is the business, understanding the business. What is the second thing you mentioned?
Yeah. Second is the management,
Or the
right?
people handling the business. I mean,
Exactly. Because why I'm saying this, typically is very crucial for India, management or promoters also called. Because if you see in India, most of the business are family driven, right?
okay.
And typically what happens in this kind of setup, and it's not like in USA, like it's more, professional management is there. But here it typically is a family driven companies. Most of the, I'm not saying all, but most of the companies are family driven. You have to see those families are working, how they're closely working. Are the family as taking money out of the company from listed company to the unlisted company, how they are behaving. As an, the only family members are becoming director, management, they are bringing new fresh blood or new ideas from outside, right? Therefore we should be looking at the management, the quality of the management. The two factors to quality of management, one is their capability comes from their qualification experience, that is one. Second is their integrity, right? How ethically they're doing business, following the law of the land.
That's a tough
And
one.
that's but there is a possible, there is we can always identify, at least go with good amount of certainty.
Yeah, I mean,
And
for me, sorry, Baji, I was just saying that
yeah,
if I
please.
have to identify how ethical a person is or how the family business is running, I would go and read their tweets. I would see how they are publicly presenting themselves. Are you referring to just keeping a check on what are their intentions in the
Yeah,
long run?
yeah, that is, you're right. No, typically what earlier, maybe, last for 3 4 years before, what I used to do, I used to read, all those annual reports, the con calls, conference
Hmm.
calls,
Push just
presentations,
mentioned.
or any public news, public demo, etc. Manual is taking a lot of time. For example, to read an annual report typically takes maybe from anywhere from 2 hours to 8 hours, right? If
Okay.
you're reading and trying to understand the numbers. But
Oh.
now because of AI, you can expedite the, our journey, learning, etc. I'll not say, AI can do everything, but finally we have to take our own decisions. But AI can help you to expect your journey to
Hmm.
understanding, analyzing, by constructing the right prompts and provoking the numbers and provoking those kind of things to get the more data. And
Okay.
but it will help you one kind of one step leverage. But sometimes I see the AI as well limitations, like, it is many times is, try to give a rosy picture, a good
Yes.
picture, and also it's gives sometimes wrong numbers.
Hmm.
It is, numbers from here and there, that is, but you have certainly, but whatever is reading annual reports, con calls, etc., you can experience those journey. But
So
finally,
what?
you, because your decision, yeah.
Yeah, so what I can do is I will take the annual report, put it into AI, and at least get a summary of it, and maybe ask the direct question: This is my risk appetite. This is how much I can invest. Should I just buy this stock and leave it, or etc. Some questions I can ask.
Yeah, yeah. You should no. Don't give your what is your plan. First,
Hmm.
make the AI to analyze the company based on your, understanding. Like, how is this company has been doing last 3 years, 5 years, and so forth. And based on that, how they come and what is the scope for, market to grow, business to grow, and the
Got
income
it.
to
Got it.
grow. All right. And what is the possibility of, someone is not taking it, so competitive advantage it's called, right?
Hmm.
Which is it should not be, because it's a very competitive world. It's very, the margins can evaporate from any day, right?
Okay,
Therefore, you have to
Balaji.
switch,
So
this
first is
kind
the
of thing.
business. Second,
Second is the management,
the management itself.
right?
Okay, and the third.
Management is a Third is the value, or valuation techniques, you can say. The value of the business, how to determine the value of the business, right? पैसा आ रहा है, पैसा जा रहा है, that's fine. And management is good, everything fine. But कौन से प्राइस पे खरीदना है, कौन से प्राइस पे सेल करना है,
Hmm.
right? That's come under the valuation, right?
Valuation. I mean, when I see जब जैसे अभी बीच में when we had the situation with the neighboring country, तो उस समय सारे के जो defense companies थी, their stocks had risen up. So
Yeah.
is that what you're referring to? मतलब
No,
उस समय
no,
पे
no,
मौके
no,
पे
I
चौका
know
मारना.
that okay, those are actually momentary hai, the event based. I'm not talking. Suppose someone want to take advantage, they can take. I'm not saying denying, but typically I don't focus on those kind of scenarios. Those are temporary scenarios, right?
Okay.
Defense ka hai, and everyone knows. Typically, if you ask me, I'm just going a bit away, step away.
Yeah.
Typically, I don't put money in government related companies. Okay,
Why?
you know how kind of government works. Okay, government job is to do the governance, not the run businesses. Very
Okay.
simple.
Hmm.
Just if you see any business, government business owned, the top पे कौन बैठा है? IS people. They are administrative people. They're not the businessman people,
Hmm.
right? Again, those people who are sitting at the top, they know they are going to retire in the 3 years or 5 years based on the company. Therefore, they don't have long vision, right? उनको just काम करके निकल जाना है, right?
Okay.
Therefore, they don't, and all that, government companies, what kind of corruptions, I don't know to get into more detail, but I typically avoid unless I find very, a deep value,
Okay.
right? I don't typically go. I go typically, but avoid. Okay. For example, if you ask me, some 3 years back, I was looking at just to name one as example only, Coal India, right? Because this is one of the biggest coal company, and energy as a requirement is there, and there's a very low valuation was there, right? But I don't like, but I sold it. It's for trading. I used it not for as an investment for long term, right? Trading also is important sometime, based on I call special situations, because finally you have to generate the cash also to invest in the long term ideas, right? Because nobody is going to give free money to us, neither father, in-laws or anyone, but you have to generate, right?
That's
Through
a
that
very
you have
important
to,
thing you mentioned. Investing.
therefore you have to generate, but you generate the do trading based on the facts. Don't go by some pattern, etc., right? All those things. That
Okay.
typically I
Yeah.
avoid.
Balaji, we have 10-12 more minutes left.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop sharing so I can ask you some questions?
Let me see. I'm missing something important for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there is some again misconceptions about the stocks I given here.
Okay.
It's gambling. You should not take it as a gamble. As I said, to take as a gambling is going to take you gambler only, and avoid those misbeliefs.
Oh, I've seen this
Yeah,
happening in IPOs. Actually, I was sharing this with other
yeah,
the large community as well. If you buy an IPO and if you sell it immediately, if it is allotted, that is also registered against you, and you may not get the IPO next time very soon. So that is also
yeah.
tracked. So as you said, if you do
Yeah.
gambling, that the gambling
No,
mindset is.
IPO. No, just to as the baat chhedi, I'm just telling
हाँ
because
हाँ
people
बोलिए
also
बोलिए.
there. Just remember, IPO is typically IPO कब आता है? Just think, IPO कब आता है? मार्केट बुल में है, मार्केट अच्छे मूड में है,
Okay.
right? Just think that way, okay? And these all IPO comes, at that अच्छे mood में है, people are ready to buy, spend at that time they come. One. Second, IPO run by the fund managers, and they are sellers, okay?
Okay.
They themselves don't put the money, but they make the marketing so strong. They have valuation पे लेके आएंगे, all this they do, and they try to sell. उनका job का, because they get commission based on how much they make the IPO successful. They don't get the commission based on the making the company successful, right? You have
Okay.
to be very careful.
तो
Therefore,
आप
IPO
IPO में इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते हो पर्सनली ना?
typically I don't do. Typically I don't do.
Okay.
Hardly I don't remember last 2 3 years में शायद एक कंपनी में किया होगा मैंने, but otherwise I haven't done.
Okay.
Because they come high prices, And if you see this, recent data I was just looking at, only 8 companies which are, doing good amount of money in the IPOs post listing. Others are, just average or below average or loss making.
Acha.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from the
Let
slides?
me. Yeah, this I think you are raising. Let me hear because you're asking this important point. First, you start when you start in the stock market. First, start with the clarity of your mindset, which is again beyond finance comes into picture. Clarity means your financial statement, at where you stand, how much you can. Typically, my suggestion is people to put the money in the stock market, which you don't need for next 3 to 4 years minimum. Right, longer is better, but otherwise आपको एक साल में चाहिए, 6 महीने में चाहिए, don't put it because it put pressure on you. आपका पीस चला जाएगा because market can turn any volatility, कुछ भी हो सकता है. Right, therefore only my suggestion, put the money which you don't need next 3 to 4 years.
Oh, that's an
Otherwise,
important point. जो
just
नहीं चाहिए
yeah.
इन्वेस्टमेंट की तरह डाल दो, 1-2 साल बाद देखो.
Correct. Don't now मुझे next month में चाहिए कुछ देर. If you want those kind of money, you just put in the liquid mutual funds, or which maybe safe, and you can always take the money. And one more point I want to say here, because people ask the real estate, etc. Just remember for any asset class, the best liquid asset is the stock market, because you can just sell and you can get the money in the next day. In the real estate, looks you get good amount of profit, but actually it's not profit, it's only gain. Again, you have to put the stamp duty, brokerage, all those comes to taxation. It doesn't make much sense. The stock market gives much liquidity and you can get immediate money if you need some urgently money, right? That is second. And third is a step, master the stock market, where you master on the business understanding, management, and third is valuation. Fourth is a step is create your own strategies framework, which we teach, typically based on your risk appetite, your time zone goal, because you want to customize. Same, same shoe size doesn't fit everyone, right? It is different, right? That way. And finally, actually, we make people to automate their portfolio, because I don't want people to sitting in front of screen daily, right? Even if only, as I said, weekly 1 or 2 hours spent, that to just to review the portfolio or to find the new opportunities. These are only 5 steps are there, and we'll be go
1-2
through it.
hours in a
Right?
week, you are saying उतना पढ़ाई कर लिया,
Yeah.
enough
That
है.
too only to upgrade your skills and आपका कंपनी में क्या चल रहा है, कुछ न्यूज आया है, or maybe some find the new opportunity. That is sufficient. Otherwise, I see a lot of people spend their whole time. My cousin brother is there. He's sitting in front of a laptop daily. I don't think the life is never made for that, right? Life is more beautiful and larger than that, right? You should be doing the things which you like to do, not in spending the time in front of screen. Yeah, and this is to end with these are first is inner game, which is mindset, focus on value, and third is follow the system, because people fail, but when you do a system that take you for a long period of time. I think this I covered, but I just to leave people. Final thought: how compounding works. Leave the money, because in compounding form, if you see the time factor, which I marked here NT, T is exponential. It's not addition or multiplication, right? Therefore, my always request to people: start today. You need 500 rupees. Start today. Don't wait. कल देखूंगा करूंगा. If you understand something, and just go and don't delay, because in the compounding happens when you stay. How long you stay in the stock market, that matters a big. That is the magic. And I leave the least final slide. Even take Warren Buffett, who is one of the richest man in the earth. He has got the coaching under Benjamin Graham. He evolved as a trader, investor, businessman. He again started from middle class family, nowhere, right? Almost nowhere. And his net worth was recently 169 billion, right? And this is I plotted his age versus his net worth, right? Just see how he started, how it has grown, and he crossed his first billion at the age of 56. But just look at after that, it's compounded, right? Therefore, the amount of time you spend in the stock market matters. Therefore, my final thought for everyone is just to start today, don't delay, and take educated decision. Don't go by any hot tips, etc. कोई बोलता है no, I make the guaranteed return, etc. It's not possible. But take educated own decisions, which is good for you. Right? Just don't do it because someone is doing. It's called envy, and because we don't know from where they are coming, why they are doing, and take own decision. Yeah, it is. I like to stop here. I think I try to cover much, and
Great.
yeah.
Balaji,
Thank you.
first of all, thank you so much. And I know this is not the end of our learning journey. This is a start, and many of us have got a glimpse into how easily you can follow a system, and patience is
Yeah,
what personally I've learned is patience बहुत जरूरी है इस game में. When we go into the habit of कि आज stock में डाला परसों निकाल लिया, and I know people. I have a couple of friends even in family as well. They earn 3-4 lakhs in a month, but yet they are so addicted to stock market that first 2 hours of their day they are on the stock market making 2-3 thousand per day. It's just an addiction as similar to cigarette. But what you are
right.
mentioning here is 2 घंटे से ज्यादा पढ़ाई मत करो हफ्ते की. That's great. That's
So,
something which is needed.
correct. Only initially, that too, because initially you are new, because you have to clarify some concept, understand. But later on you just automate maximum.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And therefore, at least I live peacefully. I can travel very happily. Just don't look at the market. It is possible.
So, how many of you understand that this is a game of patience and learning? So, if this is clear to you, just type P and L in the chat. P and L is not profit and loss, but it is patience and learning.
Yeah.
Can you all, if you got this message, can you type P and L in the chat? Let me see if you have got that right. Okay. All right, Jyoti, Hempush, Priyanka, Rajiv, Harish, Sushma, Mayank, Rakesh, Sai, Sangeeta, iPhone, Herman, Sushmita, Sashi, Suraj, Sandhya. Okay. So देखिए
Hey, let me take one point, just it's very
please.
important that will the people's view changes. Look, stock market is there, daily opens, right? 5 days a week and everything is there for you to serve. Just remember, there's no compulsion. You have to go daily and trade it. You just trade when opportunities find. When you see clear opportunity, just then only you act. Otherwise, just ignore it. What happens, कौन Trump क्या कर रहा है, कौन क्या कर रहा है, just ignore it. And as long as your business is doing good, management is good, the working for you, manage company and for you, everything will taken care. Don't worry. No, it is as simple as that. Yeah.
I think what you're referring to is the presence of mind, and that's where I think whatever techniques we are practicing in terms of keeping our mind sane, our mind strong,
Yes.
that helps in the stock market as well. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the monkey mind can run and we can get into losses. I know a lot of people, including my
Right.
father, he had made losses 25 years back, and slowly he
Okay.
recovered from that. So that has happened to many of us. The game is long term, presence of mind with patience.
Right.
It works.
I say typically three C's. First is the conviction. First conviction. That conviction from your clarity, understand the business management, how confident on your analysis research. So first is conviction or clarity. You say. Second is the confidence that is going to do, and what is playing the rational game. Third is the comfort, right, or peacefulness, right. That comfort comes, even market crashes tomorrow by 20%. Your business is good. As long as management is good, it is going to recover, right? It's not, because you are in the game for long period of time. Don't worry on the short period of kal kya hota, parso kya hota, right?
All
It's
right.
not that way, right?
Okay,
These three.
Balaji. All right. So I have just an announcement for everyone. We are first going to take a group picture, and secondly, after the group picture, I'm going to share a link which is about connecting with Balaji. You can just fill the form, and I'm going to share your contact with Balaji, and you can just have a chat with him. Maybe Balaji 30-35 minutes, a one-to-one discussion. Yeah, around. You just went on mute.
Yeah, 20-30 minutes typically I give
Right. So just
based on your
understanding
clarity.
your,
Yeah.
so this is a question to everyone. So just understanding your personal use case and how can he support you in this journey. Of course, so as I said, this session was meant to give you knowledge. This is not meant to sell you anything. We are
Right.
going to make sure that you are getting that mindset of learning. And of course, if you are interested to get into detail and have Balaji as your coach, you're most welcome to talk to him. I am personally going to talk to him about the same. So let's first come on the cameras, everyone. Let's take a group picture. All those who are in the picture, I will ensure that you first of all receive that uh, tool, that Excel sheet that has been created by Balaji after so much of hours of work. He's gifting that to us. So I would request all of you, एक बार आप कैमरा पे आ जाइए. Let's take a picture together. And oh, we have more than 25. So I just have to scroll and take the picture 2 times.
Yeah.
Harman, आप भी इसमें ले लेना एक बार पिक्चर. मैं just वो देख रहा हूँ. How do we make? Okay. ठीक है. So let's first smile for the picture. And let me tell you, the session, the learning has just begun. This was the opportunity for us to understand that you can learn about finance. Don't think, go out of your limiting beliefs of finance, and you will notice that earning money for your freedom, for your needs is very much possible. Mindset shift followed by the learning helps. All right, everyone. Now time for a big smile. Harman is also backing me up with the picture. Let's just give a nice smile to the camera. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there is one more screen. I just need to capture that as well. Everybody continue to smile. Yeah, this is so important part that we all are here and we are capturing these moments. I'm just taking the other snip as well. Meanwhile, if there's any question that you feel has not been answered, we can still
Yeah.
give few more minutes. Those who are interested to connect now can stay back. And the pictures are done. Congratulations. Now what you see in the chat is the connect link with Balaji. Balaji, I just created the form right now. I could not transfer the link that you had shared with me on the phone. So, but anyone, we will be able to take 7 to 8 people, whoever would like to connect with Balaji and have a consultation with him on the game of your personal journey forward. So you can fill this form. I will pass on the details to Balaji, and he will share a, a meeting link with you or on his preferred timings, and you can choose a slot and just have a conversation with him. And please give him some time to respond back because it's like 7 or 8 of us who may reach out to him. So other than that, Balaji, once again, thank you so much. Let me first stop the recording.